Board. Okay, everybody, thank you for joining us on the night before the 3-day water fast. And we want to just go over a couple concepts, and we know this, we've heard this over and over and over. I want to welcome everybody on the call and everybody who's going to listen to the recording. What's going to happen to us on this 72 hours? So, and people give you different hours for different things because people do, they do different kinds of studies, medical studies and also scientific studies, but generally this is true. So in 0 to 14 hours, you're going to lower your insulin, and because you'll lower your insulin because you're lowering your food intake, because the glucose goes, as you take glucose up, the insulin goes up. They go together, your insulin doesn't go up without food. So you're going to, if anybody's insulin resistant, or if anybody feels like they can't get a hold of their insulin or control it well enough, this is going to be a real nice way to get that started. And digestion, you finish your digestion of all the foods that you've within the first 14 hours, anything that you've ate previously. So your body now turns on the switch that says, hey, you know what? There's no food coming in, so I can busy myself cleaning up the body and repairing and healing, which is really what we're all trying to do. Some of us want to lose weight. I told my girls this just now. Some people are here for real more healing purposes. They have asthma, they have maybe some autoimmune issues or stuff like that, but even depression and things. You will see as I go along this list that it's very helpful for many, many things. But I do it for the weight loss, but I also, because Baruch Hashem, I don't have any other really severe issues, but why not? It does give me those other benefits as well. At the 16 to 17 hours, you'll start to this process called autophagy, which we talk about, where the body take care of cleaning itself. The body has a chance to rid itself of damaged cells and allows it to build new cells that are even healthier in its place. And even human growth hormone, one of the hormones you wouldn't even think about too much in our age group. Why do we need human growth hormone? Because what it does, it increases by like 50 to 100%. Can you hear that in the background speaking? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because that's somebody's computer on. So the human growth hormone increases by 50 to 100% even after 17 hours, and that helps you maintain your muscle mass. So this is good for us because we worry about breaking down muscle when we're doing something like this. And it is going to happen, but it's not going to be a significant amount. In fact, I asked Mindy Pels this question. Very few times you get a chance to actually speak to her. She has like thousands of people on the line at one time. Or in my course, she very infrequently came on to answer questions. But I did ask her how much muscle breakdown goes on during these things, and she said it's very minimal for 3 days. Now maybe more, maybe you see more breakdown as more hours go by. Okay, so 24 hours, you're going to start rebuilding your intestinal stem cells, and we know the stem cells are the cells in our body that were born with a certain amount of them, and we should be able to reproduce those as we get older. But because of the way we eat and because of what we're exposed to with toxins in the foods, in the air, the soaps and the emissions in cars and everything, we're assaulted daily by a lot of toxins, and we don't produce the stem cells that we normally could. But also as an adult, they dwindle. So the stem cells are the regeneration cells in our body, and we need them to heal. And they start to really kick in, especially in the digestive tract, oddly enough, which is really wonderful because we know now, after all the studies, that digestion is in the gut system, small intestine in particular, is extremely connected to the brain and extremely for brain health. The neurotransmitters for the brain are starting to develop in the small intestine. They never knew this when I was in school back a million years ago. We didn't learn this, and we know this now. And also, so when people have depression or sadness or anxiety, a lot of times if they have a poor digestion, they've discovered that connection. And also the digestion is the small intestine is where the immune system is really busy being stimulated as well. So we have to have we want to get back to having a very good digestive health. And this really helps with that if you just go without food for a certain amount of time. So 24 hours that starts to heal the digestion. So people say that if you have gas and bloating and GERD and all those things, and digestion, it really improves even after this 3-day water fast. Don't you have in your mind all these different people? I was thinking about all this, my brother, my mother, my son, my husband. I wish they would all try this just because everybody has what's going on in their lives. Okay, 36 hours, you're into the fast now, and now you're really in the fat burning phase, whether you want it or not. So people like Chaya, you're a little on the skinny side, so you be careful. I hope you ate a lot of food. And I don't have to worry about it as much. I've got a lot more to burn up than you do. But the body makes the switch from burning sugar to burning fat. And ketones in particular are being created, and ketones are an amazing byproduct of fat metabolism that are very, very healing, especially for the brain, actually for brain health. It helps develop stronger neurotransmitters and smooth out all kinds of difficulties that, it helps increase the synapse connection and even produce better, more healthy neurons. And by the way, the ketogenic diet comes from this term ketosis, different from what's the word I'm going to say now? I had it right on the tip of my tongue, and I know this for years. There's a problem with ketone production in certain kind of medical conditions. And that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about just producing ketones, and the ketogenic diet is the diet of choice for people who have neurogenic problems or any problem with their nervous system, like seizure activity in particular, and depression and things like that. So for already about 50 years, this is the diet of choice for kids with seizures and adults too, by the way. It doesn't work with everybody, I've been finding out, but it does work for the majority of people. Because the brain loves fat, and the brain is 80% fat, and so it has to have a lot of fat. So, by the way, just as a side story, I see they redid the whole the pyramid system in the America, right? The food pyramid, they flipped it over on its head, and it looks pretty good now, much better than it used to be. And it used to be the grains were what you should eat most of, and sugars, and now that's what you should eat less of, and vegetables and fruits are what you should eat more of, and stuff like that, more whole foods and stuff. But again, when we were in training, when we were growing up, we didn't learn all that stuff, and we were given a disservice by saying that fat is bad for you, because it really is. It's crucial for our neuron development and our hormone development. The cholesterol molecule is the basis of every single hormone. If you look at the cholesterol molecule, I mean, every single hormone, the basis, the building block of it is cholesterol. And so if you stop eating fats, you're just, you're doing yourself a big disservice, and your hormones are not being produced as well or as effective. Okay, so in the 36 hours, like I've said, we're developing these ketones as an alternative food source and the neuroprotective. Dopamine after 48 hours, and GABA, they reset at this time. Also, dopamine, as we know, is the feel-good hormone. And also, so you feel a little bit better. Then people say over and over again that once they get over the hump of a certain number of hours where they're really mad at themselves for doing this fast, it's like, why am I doing this to myself? You can actually feel a sense of calm come on over yourself. People say this by the time they get to like 36 hours, 40 hours. It depends on the person. And if somebody has problems with mood issues or depression or anxiety, they see an improvement of this just by going without food. And again, we have to keep very hydrated. I'm going to go through all this stuff. And finally, at 72 hours, it's time for the whole immune system to reboot itself and kick in. And it really helps to go a little bit longer. I've never been able to, but it does boost your body starts boosting white cells, which eat up all the bad stuff in the body. It kills the bad bacteria. It suppresses inflammation. And so it's very beneficial at this point, and especially if you have an autoimmune issue. Or I was going to say also too, once you have the immune system really boosted like this, you're going to not get as sick as often too. If you're somebody who gets sick very, very often, you might see a little improvement in that. I have somebody in my family that I'd love him to fast, but people don't want to do that. So I'm going to just go answer questions at this point. I do have a list of activities and practices. Would you like me to go through that first and then questions? What we should focus on for the next 72 hours. Okay, so you want to make sure you're really hydrated. Drink plenty of water through the day. Some people drink 2 to 3, 4 liters, whatever you can do. And you can add a pinch of salt to that, a high quality. That's on the list of using the Himalayan salt or the whatever salt you think has electrolytes in it. Sometimes mineral salts you can add, because it does help you hold on to the fluid more effectively. Okay, as far as exercise and movement, you're not going to stop your life with this fast. You don't have to. You don't have to stay in bed. And if you're that kind of person, you probably shouldn't be doing this fast anyway, if you're that kind of a weakness to you. But it's not the time to go start running a marathon. It's not the time to take your grandchildren for a week. It's not the time to start a new exercise program. My kids are saying in the background, "You're taking my grandchild tomorrow." Yeah, I'm taking one at a time. That's why. I'm not
Tanya, who
taking.
it is?
Yeah.
Some people have said on the chat group that they're waiting to get let into the Zoom.
Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you,
Sure.
thank you. I got too busy to talking here. La, 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 la. Where are they? Okay. Where? Oh, Devorah. Okay, it's Dina. Okay. Sorry, I didn't see that, everybody. Hi, Devorah. Devorah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Great.
can. Can you hear me?
Yep, I see. Thanks for joining us. And Chai is here. All right, great. So Dina, is that Deanna or Deanna? Oh, I don't know. Okay, there's somebody from, I think, from Europe on here. Her name is Deanna. I haven't met her yet personally, but is that you, Deanna? She's muted. Okay. So we're just going over now. I'm sorry, I didn't see you in the room. I'm going to watch out for that now. So we want to make sure we're very hydrated with some pinch of salt and our minerals. Rest and sleep. You have to, and gentle movement. That's what I was saying. Whatever exercise you want to do, yoga is fantastic. Light activities. You can walk. You can do any kind of a thing that helps your lymphatic flow and circulation. If you want to do some stretching or some kind of like even gentle jogging, people do that, but I don't know if I would recommend that the first time. But you want to keep your circulation going. So walking is probably the best. So you want to get as much rest as you can during the next 3 days. And if you need to take a nap, take a nap. I'm not the kind of person that has time to take a nap usually, but I have found that on these kind of fasts, I do leave some time in the afternoon to at least close my eyes and elevate my legs for an hour. So I feel like I can continue on. And you just have to listen to your body and prioritize rest. Um, and go to bed early if you can. And that manages your hunger too, by the way. And I find that that's the main thing for me. I'm such a night owl. I'm also an early person, so it's kind of crazy. I burn the candle at both ends still at the age of almost 68. You would think I was 28
Bueno,
running around, but yeah, sometimes I do feel it, by the way, but not often enough. I don't have those warning signals like most people do. It's like, would you please slow down and take a nap? I don't get that very often, but Baruch Hashem for that, I guess, right? So, but what I find that when I go to bed early, that's the point. When I go to bed early, I just, the cuts, you don't have to worry about thinking about eating. You don't we have to worry about being so hungry because you're sleeping already. So just a smart thing to do if you're finding like you really like you can't handle it. Just go take a nap at 8 o'clock and maybe you'll sleep through the night. Okay, so we want to monitor yourself. So you have to make sure if you feel any dizziness or any extreme fatigue, any nausea or weakness, if you have the glucose monitor, Mindy Pals and other people also recommend testing yourself 3 times a day, at least for the first day. Maybe you won't have to do it all along because maybe you'll get to know how your body feels without having to test. But you don't want to go below 60. She says 50. I say 60. Because I feel like it's not so dangerous. It's just not smart. It's really not smart to get yourself to a place. This is not a competition except for with yourself. So you're not competing with each other. We just want to make sure we stay safe and get enough rest and test. And if the glucose goes down, have something more substantial like a tablespoon or two of almond butter or some MCT oil. You could also make these things called fat bombs, but that gets very more complicated and you run the risk of like adding coconut sugars and things. And it's probably not a good idea to do that during this fast. I've got somebody who's here in the waiting room, Tanya. Tanya's going to be our guest speaker. Tanya, I'm going to be with you in just a minute. Are you there? Tanya? She's connecting to her audio. Okay, let me just finish this little list. So the monitoring, I don't do keto monitoring. A lot of people do, but that's more sophisticated, and we can do that maybe next time around. So your mental well-being is very, very important here. So practice your deep breathing exercises. I'm not a journaler, but some people like to journal their experience. You want to discuss, if you want to call me, I'll discuss how you're feeling emotionally. Some people feel emotionally very drained, but a little depression sets in, maybe things that come up for them, because this is a cleanse after all too. So people feel like they need to emote. They have to discuss things with people, or they have to share something. And then I can be that person, or you can call each other or whatever. Okay, things to avoid: strenuous exercise, no and high intensity stuff. Okay, it's going to lead to dehydration and an electrolyte imbalance. Try to avoid any situations that, like if your friends are going out to dinner or you're having a birthday party for like I did today. That's why I'm postponing my thing till until today because till tonight because I had a birthday party for my friend today and then I wanted to participate. So stay away from those social situations just for 3 days. It's not forever, okay? And stressful events, if at all possible. We can't help when life happens, but if you know that your mother-in-law is like really difficult to be with, just avoid her for the next 3 days, or your husband, or whoever the case may be, your boss, your kids. It goes on. Okay, so you can eat and drink anything with calories. You can't have anything really with too many calories. So try to stick to your good coffees, unsweetened tea, no milk at all. You can add MCT oil. You want to, there's stricter fasts that they'll do only water, but we're not doing that, okay? And really, that's about it. When we break the fast, we're going to talk about that on another meeting, and then you can look at the handout to see what to do, what's the best thing to break the fast on for you. Now, Tanya is here. Tanya, want to unmute?
Wendy.
Hi,
Yes, good
honey.
evening.
Tanya is one of our supreme fasters, and she's going to tell us her experience and how you were the first time, and then how you got involved in regular fasting.
Right. So my journey started about 2 years ago, roughly. I started intermittent fasting, and then I was following Dr. Mindy Peltz, whom Yehudis learns with, and I was so taken with her way of thinking. I really wanted to do a 3-day fast, but until Yehudis advertised that she was doing it, I was like, yes, I finally have someone to do it with. And it's very advisable for the first time to actually have someone whom you can talk to and talk through things. And my first time wasn't so amazing. My second day, I completely fell, and I was shocked. And I had to come home from work and lie down and like really rest. But I kind of just told the school I wasn't feeling well. I didn't tell them why, and I left. And I was happy to get through the first 3 days. And then when I did it the second time, it was easier. And the third time, obviously, it was a lot easier. And since then, I've done 4-day fast and a 5-day fast. And the more you do it, that just the easier it gets. And really, once you get into the hang and the swing of it, you actually find yourself with a lot of energy. Like you have no need to eat. Obviously, to drink and the electrolytes is really important, and to take the supplements that you need to in order to get through. I do electrolytes and water, and that's enough for me. I take no other supplements except for, my magnesium that I take on a day-to-day basis. But everyone has to do what's good for them. And it's really important that you listen to your bodies and see where you need to rest, when you need to sleep. If you just need to chill for a few minutes. And there is definitely that emotional curve that Eurydice was talking about. I feel it, especially when I'm doing longer fasts, more than 3 days. You can feel it, but the thing that kicks in the most is the high energy that you feel, which is absolutely phenomenal. So if you go with that feeling, I swim while I do my 3 to 5 day fast. I have no problem doing my day-to-day things without any issues. As I said, the first time was way more difficult, but as you progress and continue doing it, it gets that much easier.
Thank you. And tell me what you take for your mineral supplements. What do you like to supplement with?
I make my own electrolytes at home, with coconut water, lemon juice, and salt, and water, obviously, 500 milliliters a day, and as much water as I can, and obviously herbal tea. That's all I take. And the only other supplement I'm on is magnesium, so that I don't cramp, and I've been taking that for the last few months. Other than that, I don't take any other supplements. So, and I'm good with that. But again, everyone has to do what's good for them. Like what's good for one person is not necessarily good for another as far as the supplements is concerned. But when you go through the process is good for everybody. And the energy that you're supposed to feel is phenomenal. So just go with that.
So what you're saying it took you 3 or 4 times to feel
It
more?
took me by the second time I did it, you heard this. I did it the first time with you, and then after that I did it again. And the second time was already, I didn't even need that day of rest, like the second day. I was like over the hump kind of thing. My body like knew what it was doing, and it was fine. And then when I went into the 4 days, I really felt that surge of energy. Third and fourth day, I was like ready to rock and roll. And when I did the 5 days, I was like third, fourth, and fifth day, I was like just like managing to just do. It was like absolutely the clarity and you just have so much energy. I can't explain. It's like the best thing ever. It's almost like a rush. So although you don't eat it, I think the aftermath was more difficult for me when I did my 5 days. It took me longer to get into eating again after 5-day fast, rather than a 3-day, which within almost 12 hours, I'm like back to almost normal eating. With a 5-day fast, it really takes 24 to 30 hours because I had to really like get
You
into a
stuck to
swing of,
soups and things like that? You stayed with soups
yes,
and
I
things?
do the soups, I stick with the soups and just like, the cooked veg that's in the soup and the bone broth. And I have to take it really slow after the 5-day because otherwise your stomach just really does, it hurts a little bit. It takes time for your body to get used to reintroducing it to food again. So I think that also it was my first time doing 5 days. I did it a couple of months ago. So the next time I do it, I'll be more the wiser and know to go a lot slower with the reintroducing the food. But other than that, it was a great ride. So once you start, ladies, it's quite addictive, honestly. It's a real rush. So enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions for Tanya? Anybody?
Okay.
Thank you for coming on. You can stay on or you
So,
can.
Deborah, did you want to say something?
I just want to say that I also did previously a 5-day water fast, and also I got more energy as the days went on. And like I probably could have gone further, but it was like Shabbos, and I wasn't
Exactly.
ready
Isn't
to
it
do
such a
it.
bummer that there's Shabbos? Sorry, God forbid. I'm just saying, like, I would have loved to have done a 7-day, but because Shabbat comes by every week, you kind of like the most you can do is 6 days. So
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, it really is good. Unless of course you have some kind of a medical issue and you get a header. But
yeah,
otherwise, like 6 days is your maximum. So definitely in a plan for me to try and do a 6-day one.
We do know people who have, if you read about them all the time, that go on a whole month's fast, but they're medically supervised. You know, that makes you can't
Exactly. You have to be for that
You
amount
yeah,
of
have to
time.
be
I
because
think
they have to
that's
test you
wise.
all through the day
Yeah.
and things like that and make sure you have hydration and all. But they do see people really recovering from cancers and recovering from autoimmune issues and things like that, which I
No,
believe this is what
phenomenal.
the body is capable of doing, which was so thrilling to even realize that because all these years I've never, I mean, as a medical person, I never thought that there were certain things could ever really be cured, especially from within, you know? So very excited to know this is a possibility for people. And even with just 3 days, I can tell you, I felt much more, like you said, I need to have a lot of energy, but I felt even energetic without food. And I did have less headaches. I usually get a lot of headaches. Things like this sort of disappeared even after the 3 days. So is there anybody have questions about how to manage through the first 24 hours or anything like that? Anybody? You can contact me privately. Now, Tanya, tell you how just one more thing. You make this coconut oil. Doesn't take you out of the fast. I mean, coconut drink. It
No, no,
doesn't.
no. I do 1 cup of coconut water, 1 cup of water, a whole lemon, and a quarter to half a teaspoon of salt. And I just sip it throughout the day. Like I sip it, usually I take it in the morning, and by like lunchtime, I'm finished with it. And then the rest of the day, I just sip water.
Okay.
Definitely doesn't
But
take
you
you
don't
out
keep
yet.
every single thing of water you're drinking mineralized or
No, no,
okay.
no. I
No, you
drink
don't need that.
regular water and that one thing of electrolyte. For me, that's enough. It keeps me
Okay.
going.
Yeah, it's a
The
little bit
first
of
time I did
trial and
it
error
again, the
the
first
first
few
time.
days, the first time I had to take, I think, a tablespoon of coconut oil,
Yeah.
which you said is allowed.
Yeah.
And I remember I asked you and you said definitely take something, and I did because the first time I did it, I did suffer with a bit of headache,
Mm.
and I really wasn't feeling myself like the first time round that I did it. But I'm so happy I stuck with it because it really gave me the appetite to do it again. Because once you get over that hump, the second day, like after the 24 hours, and you get into you're nearing to your end of the second day, already feeling a lot better. It's just like that curve of going from one day to the next. And then once you've passed that, you're kind of like on an easy keel. So that's good.
Yeah. And that's really
Yeah.
hard for us as Jewish women, and we're always cooking, even if our husbands aren't demanding for food, but people are in and out and you are making meals. We do revolve a lot of our world around, Shabbat and all that stuff, like you said. So you have to, time it in a certain way, but we're used to eat it. And also just the way we were raised, just to always be eating something. It's just something Mindy Pels tells her story, which I always think is a little bit much. I've heard it so many times, but it really makes sense. She said she had a mother who was the best mother in the world, but her mother was the kind of lady that said whenever she came home with her sister and she felt she'd failed a test or the kids were mean to her or anything, her mother would say, "Oh, honey, eat this. Oh, honey, eat that. Oh, honey." And she said she built that's what you do when you feel sad. So by the time she got to college, whenever she was struggling with relationships or struggling with grades, she'd go make herself something to eat because that was what she knew was the way to take care of her emotional self. And I didn't grow up like that, but I can see how that could really affect somebody, growing up, that what we bring to this also, our pasts really affect how we look at food and how we look at hunger. And I have friends who I would just be dying to make them do this. And they say, I'll die if I don't eat food. That's what they tell me. I will die.
That's true. A lot of
I
people
will
turn
die.
around and
They
say
said
that.
to me, like, what are you talking about?
Especially at work. I'm a teacher and I go to the teacher, I'm fasting for the next whatever, and they look at me and they think I'm absolutely mad. Like I've lost I've lost it. And they see me, I'm like, are you still fasting? How many days? Haven't eaten, not even in the evening? I'm like, no. I said, look, do I look ill? Do I look unwell? Am I unfit to teach? Like I'm good to go. Like I'm very full of energy. They look at me, they don't understand. They said, there's no way. I could never, ever, ever. And how many times have we said things like that to ourselves? Like we could never, ever. But until somebody's actually tried or gone through the process, they don't actually know what they're talking about.
Right.
So don't let it throw you, because it really can throw you. Like it can sometimes get a bit much. People look at you with like, you're weird. Like, why aren't you eating? What's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you. And I say to myself, no, there's something wrong with you that you're not trying this. Because I think that it's phenomenal that we get this opportunity to just close our mouths for a few days, just to let our bodies do what it does on the inside. It's just, for me, it's just like it's a miracle. So it's fantastic.
That's a great way.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. I don't have the expensive Zoom plan, so I'm going to shut down automatically soon. If anybody has no further questions, we're going to sign off. And I'm here available for you as
Aya
often
has
as you
something
want.
she'd like to say.
Hi,
Yeah,
go
I just
ahead.
want, if there's still time. Now, Tanya, I understand that you mostly are able to do this with just water.
Water and electrolytes.
Yeah, but that was like one
She
cup
likes her
or
teas.
something.
Her
Was
tea.
It's like 500 milliliters. It's like half a liter.
It's
Yeah.
half a liter. But I do have these electrolytes. I was going to ask you this, if it's okay to keep drinking electrolytes, like the supplements that you suggested. I
Yeah,
ordered
I
from
think so.
your.
But don't overload yourself though, because you wouldn't
Oh.
do that on a regular daily basis anyway. I would try probably twice a day for your situation, because this is the first time doing it. Do it only twice. And then,
Mhm.
I don't think you're going to need much more than that. And if you need more, you'll take it. You just listen to the way you're feeling. And again, have those non-fasted snacks that she calls them, that doesn't kick you out of ketosis or kick you out of the fasting state. And so, there are people that they say the coconut water could do that, but you say not. So I'm really happy to hear that, because I was always a little bit reluctant to try that, but that sounds like a wonderful alternative to tea.
Yeah,
It's
with
only one
lemon.
cup. It was only
It's only
one
one cup
cup.
anyway, right? It's a,
1 cup to 1 cup of
One
water
cup of
and
coconut
lemon.
water and 1 cup of water. Yeah. And
Right.
half a lemon. The lemon makes a huge difference.
Lemon.
lemon, it's
The
gone.
half a lemon. I mean, sorry, a whole lemon, not half a
Whole
lemon.
lemon.
A whole
Squeeze
lemon. I
Okay,
did it
that's
once
good.
with half a lemon, and I honestly hated it. I couldn't drink it. The lemon juice makes all the difference to the taste of the water.
Wow.
So I found.
So don't be afraid of fasting. It's so funny too. I was telling my kids on Shabbos that the medical community is very against this for obvious reasons, because they don't understand it.
Yes.
But they always make us fast before blood tests. They make us fast before surgery. They make us fast before everything we do. But don't fast. Right? Don't go on a. It's just very funny to me. Anyway, anybody else have anything to say? I'm really excited to be with you all and to help us all. We can help each other through this whole thing. And I'll be available by WhatsApp anytime to answer any questions. And we're going to have another meeting if everybody can make it or not. Are you going to watch the recording? I'm going to hold another one on Tuesday night to see how everybody's doing. Okay?
Thank you so
Good
much.
luck.
Good luck, everyone. Enjoy.
Yes, Rafa. Okay,
Okay,
see you on the
looking
other
forward to hearing
side.
everybody's good news. All the best.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.